Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Auto Club Speedway. As all kinds of technical difficulties here between overlays, between the thing just not going live. It's a good start to the night, but we are here at the beautiful Auto Club Speedway, 2-mile tri-oval. Fantastic out there. Before we get into it here, we have Cody Brewer, driver of the #1 here for tonight, and as we mentioned to him, just without you guys out there hearing it. Cody, a rough start to the season for Daytona and for Phoenix, but we come to Auto Club here in hopes to turn this thing around a little bit for you.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully we can stay clean and get a top 10 today. That'd be a good turnaround. So
certainly a lot of different talent out here in the series. I mean, where do you kind of feel you're kind of going to fall in there? I mean, there's a lot of different series where you get in and you kind of feel comfortable being in the top 10, top 5. You know, where do you kind of feel your talents would kind of fall out for the entire season?
I'd say most tracks, probably a top 15, top 10. Just depends on the track. Short tracks, I feel like I can be better. Super speedways, but these wide open tracks, you never know.
I mean, it's great having a nice 30 truck field out here week in and week out, but it certainly makes it a lot tougher out there with all those trucks you got to navigate. So hopefully we can see a little bit better navigation this weekend. Maybe we'll get to talk to you after the race in the top 3.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Good luck out there, buddy. That is the driver of the #1, Cody Brewer, as hopefully we can get this thing all straightened out. I'm not sure what it is with SDK. It doesn't like the start of the broadcast here for the YESCAR Truck Series, and you can see it's still kind of just stuck in place right now, and trying to figure out the kinks here. But Joe, why don't you give us a little idea where we're expecting to see you out here at Auto Club?
Well, it's one of my favorite big tracks. You got the Daytona and the Talladega, but this definitely one of the, I guess, drafty tracks, quote unquote, however you want to put it. This is like the 2-miler with Michigan, but with here you're gonna have a lot of different grooves. So you're gonna see guys low, you're gonna see guys high. So let's see, we got a low track temperature this week. So actually we don't. We got 132 degree track temperature. Oh man. Big Duke in these sessions, he's putting the hot tracks out here for these boys, so it's going to be fun to watch these guys slip and slide around here. With these hot track temperatures, it's going to be tire conservation here and see who can save the tires the best. We got 40 laps on tap here tonight, so it's going to be a fun show. The first 2 weeks definitely showed some dramatic finishes, so it's going to be let's see what these boys have on tap here tonight. Maybe we can get another great finish. As last week, we seen the Maxwell Shade try to stay out and pull off a no stop at the end there, and he was almost able to get it done, but Tyler Heisel was able to come away and win last week.
Well, we are getting ready to get this thing underway. It is going to be iTuckles, Captain Killam at the front. Then we got Matthew Hogg, Chris Melton, Ben Stevens, Corey Sherman, Maxwell Shade, Chris Gutierrez, Keith Says Yes, and last week's winner, Tyler Hells, are going to make up your top 10. But the pace car is off the track. It is in the hands of Marty. And we are racing here at the beautiful Auto Club Speedway. Good look right there.
Here tonight, yeah. It's being a big old track here for these boys. Plenty of room to move around. Byron's got a good run on the outside there. He's going to look to the outside of Tuckness. See if he can get a good run down the backstretch here. Got 52 of Melton. Right there in third.
And there you see the beautiful sight of not just the 30 trucks making their way around Auto Club, but man, there's nothing like going to a track like this. I don't care who you are, if you enjoy your short tracks, if you enjoy your super speedways, how can you not love these 2-mile tri-ovals where you see just 5, 6, 7 wide going into the corners, just so many different lines. I mean, you look at it right there, yeah, there's going to be, kind of one, maybe two lines that really develop as the quote-unquote racing lines. But you can just about put it anywhere. I mean, wherever you feel most comfortable. It could be, at the bottom, it could be at the top, it could be in the middle, it could be the second, third, fourth groove, wherever you feel comfortable driving the truck out here tonight. And what makes it great is you're not stuck in that spot where, how do we get around this guy? The bottom line is the only line that you can really run through the corner. So how do I make that pass on the high side? You can figure it out. There's so many different lines you can run here that passing is going to be an opportunity. And you already see plenty of passing, plenty of different lines out here. Tuckle's back up to the front, but tucked in right behind him, Captain Killam in the 45, and now the 52 with Melton. Briefly look to the inside, is going to fall back in line heading into turn number 3.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a breakaway here at the top 4. And that's, 52 gets in the back of the buyers just a little bit. That's going to loosen him up, slow him down. The 24 is going to look to the apron here.
3 wide for second.
Yeah, the difference in lines that you can run here.
Almost 4 wide there as it looked like the 3 of Corey Sherman was going to get in there. And how about this? 2 wide for first, 3 wide for second. If you don't like Auto Club, you need to find another, just any kind of hobby other than racing. This is what we come here for. This is what I love. I mean, it's nothing like it. And you can race 2, 3, 4 wide and not have a problem. There's plenty of racing room. I mean, you see, you can probably fit 6, 7 wide here if you really wanted to. I don't suggest it. All these guys aren't listening to me and hey, yeah, here you go. Here's what you want. No, that's not what I want. I'm just saying you can. But right now, still good battling. Tuckle's now battling with Melton for the lead. Has Melton up a couple spots here already, starting in 4th, now battling for the lead. But the 94 still showing the way at the front. Man, these laps are going to tick by pretty quickly. It's 40 laps, and I know it's 80 miles worth of racing, but it's fast laps around here. I mean, 42 and a half seconds, and even the faster laps getting down in the sub 42s. But 3 wide now for the lead. The 3 bumping, going through the grass. He looks like he's gonna save it. Get back on the track. So good job there by Sherman getting back up there. And Tuckle's gonna save himself and get back into the lead. But man, drivers got their elbows out already here on lap number 6.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, there's plenty of room out there, but you gotta watch the side drafting. This new model of this truck, it's I haven't raced it a ton, but with what I have, I know dirty air is huge with these things now, so at least that's what I've experienced in a couple of races that I've done, but it's we see who can, navigate that dirty air, and I bet that's why the 94 wanted to keep that nose out front and get that clean air.
Well, it's who can survive the heat as well. You mentioned it, and it is just a scorcher. I mean, the track 132 degrees. It's only 78 ambient, but it is just, it's ripping on the track, and this track is going to rip up the tires for sure as well. I don't think that little 2-mile-an-hour breeze is really going to do anything for the drivers, but I mean, it's hot week in and week out. I don't know if this is by design here. We've seen some absolute burners out here so far, but burning down miles per hour. That's what just 190 miles an hour going into the corners, pretty much flat out. You see, look at that. I mean, all the way up at the top of the track is Tuckles, all the way down at the bottom of the track after Killam. It just wherever you want it. I mean, just spin a wheel, pick a place, get in there. But yeah, it's amazing. All these different lines, the drivers always seem to find each other. You always seem to see some really close racing as well.
Yeah, it's the exit of corners. It's where everybody's going to come and meet together. Whether you're on the high side coming down or on the low side, just like what we've seen right there. It seems like the high line's going to have that momentum coming off. As we've seen, Tuckles was able to keep the lead there. It's going to probably be hard to pass on the bottom side here unless you've just got that much more of a tire gap than the guy you're trying to pass. So, like you said, tire conversation here is going to be key. As it looks like we got, I think I see 45% fuel, so it looks like we're gonna have like maybe one stop here tonight. The 40 laps on tap here.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it should be close to one stop, but I think it's going to be closer to a two stop. I mean, it all depends on, excuse me, how much these drivers want to get at it, or how much they want to just, you know, kind of tuck in. Like you see Myers right here, Captain Killam falling back in right behind 94 and maybe just trying to draft a little bit. It's great being out front and pushing all that air and getting all that downforce on that front end. It turns beautifully. You don't have any kind of aero push, aero wash, nothing to speak of. You're also pushing a lot of air out of the way, which means you're pushing that throttle down harder than everybody else that is drafting behind you, using up more fuel.
Yeah, and it looks like Myers in the 24 we're just going to ride maybe. We're going to really trying to make a pass on the 94. Kind of right here and save a little bit if they can.
Oh, Captain Killam into the wall there a little bit.
Push. Caught some dirty air. That's what we were talking about. That dirty air, and that's going to give you a big old push. It's going to hit, you know, get that air off the nose and not want it to turn at all. You wouldn't think it would get too tight here with the, you know, typically this track is going to wear that right rear. And with these hot temperatures, they accelerate that even more.
Take a look on board here from Jim's Wagoneer, looking up at the battle between Michael Funkhauser and Tyler Bryan. Is Bryan going to get the better of him now? And wow, that got very close there, riding on board.
29 trucks here tonight. Another great turnout here for Key Says Yes, the YESCAR Truck Series.
You see, not just as easy as mashing the throttle and staying flat the entire way. You hear Wagoneer really having to kind of work the throttle going in and maybe dragging a little bit of brake and even trying to get that power down. 132 degrees out there. You can't just mash that throttle down when you want to get back on it. You have to be gentle and you have to ease it on, or that back end is just going to ease its way out from underneath you.
Yeah, and this track here, I mean, it's like the Daytona and Talladega where you're on the throttle so much, you literally no brake here. It's all throttle control, and you're steering. You're trying to steer as less as you can here, which doesn't make sense when you're doing circles constantly, but you try to keep that wheel as straight as you can and keep that pointing forward.
A couple little packs developing here, and it is the top three kind of checking out just a little bit right here between Tuckles, Helzel, and Captain Killam. So we'll see if Helzel can go back-to-back here in the 24 and repeat, as he was the winner last week at Phoenix by very, very small margin. It ended up under caution, under the third green-white checkered, as the yellow flew one more time, but it flew just as he made the pass, as Joe mentioned. So I mean, you know, by about a bumper or so is what Helzel won by last week. Just had his bumper ahead at the right time when the yellow flag came out, but he certainly had the speed last week. Looks like he's got some speed in that 24 again this week, but right now the 94 has got the most speed, and we've already got down to 26 laps to go. I mean, I feel like we just started this race, and well, between the technical issues and the overlay issues, we pretty much did just start this race the way it seems. But we're already 15 laps into this thing, on lap number 15 right now, and I mean, it's clicking away extremely fast.
Yeah, it looks like we've seen Byers slap the wall there. I wonder if that got a little bit of a right front damage on him. And it looks like we just seen the 24 do the same thing. I wonder if that's going to hinder his damage or hinder his speed as well. I know it doesn't take much to kind of, you know, wrinkle these things in. So, and if he can be behind somebody, you know, it's not going to affect his steering. But oh, we got one spin. Oh, we got green flag stops starting here. The 54 around.
Ben Stevens comes into the pits, and it was not a good clean entry. And you see right behind there, not sure if that was a clean entry there as well. But pit stops are commencing here at Auto Club, and again, we're only completing lap number 15. So we are looking like possibly a 2-stop race here. I don't think these drivers are going to be able to stretch it out 20 laps. It's a big ask, but we still have our leaders out there and haven't seen anybody from the top 5 come into the pits yet. As it is, Tuckles, Helzel, Captain Killam, and Shade Hot making up your top 5. Then you got Melton, Big Duke, Chris Gutierrez, and Michael Funkhauser, James Wagoneer making up your top 10. But you see the pit lane there is getting mighty busy, Joe.
Yes, it is. And I wonder if somebody can maybe try to make it here, but we'll see if somebody can make it to the halfway point. Not only if you can make it to the halfway point, you can one-stop this race, but as we know, the leader at halfway gets a little reward, so that's got to be in the back of somebody's back pocket too here.
Well, here comes your leader.
Here we go.
As pretty much everybody from the front is coming in. We'll see if anybody can stay out another lap. Looks like maybe Cody Brewer in the 1. Our pre-race interviewer is going to get some extra TV time here, as he's going to stay out for one more lap. The only one still out there on the track. Everybody else has come into the pits. Tyler Bryan is the other one that looks like he may end up, actually he's still coming around here. We'll see, he was pretty far behind the pack, and he is going to come in as well. So Brewer, the only one that can stay out one more lap, but the question is, does he have enough fuel to get back around here? Looks like he was a little slow there on the backstretch, but I think he's still up to pace. It's tough because these guys coming out there with little cooler tires, and now the one is going to make that left-hand turn into pit lane. Grabbed himself a lap lead there, and he made it to lap 18. So nobody can make it to halfway here. It's going to be a 2-stop race, barring any kind of yellows or anything like that. But the big thing is he made it further. So when he fills up his tank, he's going to need less fuel on that last pit stop. And could that be the difference in a better finishing position? I mean, well, that's not going to help right there as a rough pit entry. But taking less fuel is a big thing. I mean, obviously, 4 tires compared to 2 tires, makes a big difference. But you come in there and you have to take, a gallon less fuel than somebody else. That little bit right there could be the difference between, finishing outside the top 10 to maybe just finishing outside the top 5.
Yeah, it looks like we got some varying strategies here on the pit cycle there. It looks like maybe we got some 10-second stops and 14-second stops. So we probably got some fuel only, some maybe right sides only, some 4-tire stops here. So we got like 22 laps remaining here. How are these guys going to break up this last part of the race here? We know they got to stop one more time. I mean, do you just come in when you got you fill it up, or do you maybe break this in half here, or do you go long, try the long game, and risk that as well, because you could have a caution come out here late in the race, and then you can be out and pit road here and meet everybody. So I don't know if you can put anybody a lap down here as we got a couple guys a lap down here, but it's off a big track, and we're doing 40-some second laps, so but Tuckle's off to a pretty good lead here now after this pit cycle. Yeah,
3-second lead for the 94, and as you mentioned, a good bit of that lead is because of the pit stop. His pit stop only 10 seconds long compared to Corey Sherman in second place, 14.8. Tyler Helzel, 15.6. So yeah, some definite varying strategies here on the pit time, and we'll bring him up here and show you it's the pit lap. That's not the pit time. Let's try that again. So there's the total pit lane time for everybody. We see about 6 seconds difference between Tuckles and Sherman, and right there is how much time they spent in their pit stop and their pit stall, and about 4.5 seconds is what Tuckles was able to get ahead. So to me, that shows most likely just right side tires for the 94 and 4 tires for Sherman there in second place. But I mean, we talked about the track being just an absolute scorcher. However, if you're only out there for about 18 laps or so on the tires, 2 tires isn't really a bad decision for the first pit stop, but is it going to be enough to take only 2 tires on that second pit stop? I mean, you're risking taking those left side tires all the way. I mean, I don't know if that's what the 94 is planning. Maybe, you know, given that it's only going to be, you figure, a few laps left by the time they come into that second pit stop. I mean, Douglas pit there on lap number 17. If he pits on lap number 34, you're looking at 5-6 laps to go. Maybe you take the chance on 2 tires again, but it's going to be awful slick.
I think if he runs that out, he could probably maybe just do a gas and go. I mean, I don't know if he wants to sit there on pit road that long and risk that, because, I mean, 5 laps, what do you need here? You know, a couple gallons? I don't think you can do right side tires in, like, say, 3-4 gallons. I think maybe a gas and go would be the call. So I wonder if that's going to pay off for him here and just taking the right sides. And maybe the guys that took 4 tires here, maybe that's going to be their plan. It's going to be the gas and go. And they're going to have that fresher set of tires, you know, at least the left sides, you know, going forward here.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, this is one of those races where you feel like Tuckel's kind of, he has it in his hands right now. I mean, he's 2.3 ahead, but in the same case, you almost have to keep an eye on what everybody else is doing, because if you're somebody like your Helsel, your Captain Gillum, your Sherman, Shade, anybody else inside the top 5, I feel like the play is to come in early. I mean, once you're inside the pit window, that's when I'm coming in. I'm coming in and taking either a splash and dash, or I'm taking 2 tires, 4 tires, whatever they plan on doing. To me, if you're thinking about, you know, doing what you said, running this out and taking that splash and go, I'm doing that early. I know there's different schools of thought, and you don't want to come early and all of a sudden you realize you screwed up your fuel amount, but I look at it with tires. If you're coming in and when you come in, if you're not taking any tires, you don't think much, you know, because you're not wearing them anymore, but you're cooling them down. And cool tires compared to these tires that are, you know, hot and sticky right now, like they are right now on these trucks, it's a huge difference. And when you're talking about running a truck for as long as, you know, a full fuel cycle and then coming out there with cold tires, it's tough. It's tough to do, and it's almost as bad as coming in and just taking 2 tires. So that's why I'm doing exactly what Tuckles is doing right here. Not sure if he got in and got it rolled up in time. Very close right there. But I mean, this is what you do, in my opinion. If you're just planning on taking a fuel only, or maybe taking 2 tires, you come in early so that way the tires aren't completely worn. It's not, you know, a huge change in how the truck feels. So I like this call here by 94. Now, he can have a caution. We've seen a few cautions, certainly, in race number 1, and a couple cautions there to end out race number 2. These drivers have been lean and green so far here tonight. Completing lap number 26 right now, it is Tyler Helsel out front. Now Captain Gillum, Maxwell Shade, Chris Melton, Corey Sherman, your top 5. Big Duke now is going to take the same approach here, as is Ben Stevens. A little bit better entry this time for Ben Stevens. And he's going to make it in there a little cleaner. But yeah, these drivers coming in, they're inside the pit window now to make it to the end. Joe, it's 14 to go. I mean,
this is breezing by. Yeah.
Man, I'm not sure what to do with my hands, as Ricky Bobby would say.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to mention, too, is that when these guys are pitting, I mean, almost kind of want a dancing partner, you know, a drafting partner here. But, I mean, Tuckles was so far out in front of him that he didn't really have an option there for a partner. But, you know, the 24 and 45 are kind of hooked up here. But I wonder if they're going to be on the same strategy. As right before the 94 pitted, these guys were making a little bit of ground on him. So I wonder if he's seen that and went ahead and, you know, nipped that in the bud and went ahead and came down pit road. You know, like you said, you're watching whatever, you know, what everybody else is doing too, and see what kind of strategy they're on. But you're also watching the lap times too, you know, and when guys are moving in on you, and you know you got to pit anyways, you know, you might as well just come down and try to, you know, minimize the time loss there. Well, we got 24's coming down.
Here comes Helsel into pit lane. It's going to give the lead to Captain Gillum over there. Jeff Byers now into the lead. Melton going to be in second. Shane Hot, your top four. But Halzo, Gilroy also in the pits. As we're seeing a little bit of what we seen last week, some varying strategies, but this time it is when you decide to come into the pits, looking back at Tuckles, it looks like when he came in, he took 4 tires, Joe. That's a bold strategy cut. I mean, I'm coming in there, I'm taking the fuel, unless he felt like that truck was just a handful for those couple laps. As good as I thought that strategy was, that's a rough strategy now.
Yeah, I wonder if him locking him up coming in, maybe he had a audible, Omaha that sucker and went to the 4 tires,
Must be getting close to football season.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, a little foosball with your friends.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible decision. He's up there in 10th right now. He's got everybody that's got a pit, and realistically, he's got fresh tires to run out there and to put some laps down. And it looks like he's not the only one. He's not the only one that's taking 4 tires coming into the pits here. But I would not be surprised to see anybody try a fuel-only stop here. But we've got 10 laps to go. I mean, again, this thing is buzzing by so quickly. It is still in the midst of pit cycles here. But before we don't get a chance here, as this thing is just going to be over here in, I feel like, 2 minutes, it's time to crank these drivers up here and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it. main cycle just about complete here, and it is Tuckles out there in front. The number 94 is in the lead by 3.3 seconds over Tyler Halso, last week's winner. Captain Killam, Jeff Byers in third place. Sherman and Melton rounding out the top 5. We got 5 laps to go. 5 the lucky number here. And man, Joe, this thing has flown by here tonight. These drivers had the talent in there. They certainly can put it on here. And I know the first couple races may have been a little bit wishy-washy. I mean, the first race is Daytona. And you can have the best drivers in the world, and it's Daytona. And sometimes Daytona just does Daytona things. And that's what happened. Phoenix last week it's not an easy track. It's only 1 mile track, but it can bite you real quickly, and especially with that transition, it can get a little funky, and it certainly got a little racy there at the end. Here tonight, it's just Auto Club doing Auto Club things, and it's just a beautiful thing. I can't love it enough. I don't know what it is. It's just some great high-speed racing, 180, 190 miles an hour out there. And whoa, big move right there. And that got very close as the 32 ZM Racing trying to get his lap back there. Man, that was very, very close. But, I mean, it's beautiful to see, and I love seeing all these trucks out here. 29 trucks in the field, and got to showcase this man right here. Obviously, Keith says yes, the 304. Back there in 16th. Certainly would love to get that beautiful-looking truck up there in the top 10, but it's looking clean, and things nice and shiny out there. That is a very nice paint scheme there for Keith, and thank him for everything he does here for the series. But 3 to go, Joe.
Yeah, I wonder if a lot of these guys got the memo about the 5 bonus points, for just running a clean race. I mean, like you said, Daytona's going to do Daytona things, and Phoenix, that's just a tough combination. The track temperature, the track, 30 trucks on the field. I mean, it was tough, but these boys, I mean, what a great way to show everybody's talent here tonight. Like you said, we knew we had it in them. Just get things ironed out here and settle down and see what we can do here. And I mean, a race to go from green to checkered. We love that. I mean, that's great racing here tonight.
Well, I mean, I had to double check and look at the schedule to make sure it wasn't like a doubleheader tonight. We had 2 races here, and this is just race number 1. As 1 is now the number 1 more lap to go. The white flag in the air for the 94. Doing a little drafting here on the front stretch on the number 20 here, and he is looking to secure his spot in the playoffs already. Big Duke, the 78, and last week's winner, Tyler Halsell, getting their wins on the season and locking themselves into the playoffs. But right now, it looks like the 94 by Tuckles gonna stamp his spot in there as well, heading into turn number 3. Less than a mile to go now. The 94 is gonna do it. He dominated out here tonight. A little bit of a battle in the first couple laps, but he held them off, and he's gonna hold everybody off. Your winner here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway, the 94. And it was a pretty dominating performance. Tyler Halsell almost going to go back-to-back and come home in second place. Good finish for him. Captain Killam, Jeff Byers going to finish in third. Chris Melton, fourth place. Corey Sherman in fifth. Joe, I mean, did we just hop on the radio and tell them to re-rack it? Let's run this thing back again. That was a fun little race here tonight.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a quick drive down the interstate. It felt like, I mean, this thing was ripping and rolling. I know we started with the difficulties there with the technical side of it, but we got ripping and rolling here. And I mean, like we said in CSRL sometimes, the race just flies by because the action is everywhere around the track. And that was the case here tonight at Auto Club. I mean, with being able to run high, low, middle, low, middle, high. I mean, there's so many grooves here that there's so much room that these boys were able to keep it clean and keep it green and put on some good racing and a dominating performance from the 94. The 24 tried to get through them a couple times, but just not enough here tonight. It's the 4-tire call at the end there seemed to pay off for the 94.
Great run here for Jonathan Tuckness, as he is going to be your winner, and again stamp himself into the playoffs as doing a little backwards burn. I promise you, we're not in reverse right now. He is, as teammate here, the 44 Michael Funkhauser Jr. coming down here to celebrate with him as he comes home in 14th here tonight. But a great run for all the drivers out here in the YESCAR Truck Series, and certainly hats off as we got a nice clean one out here tonight, and certainly well deserved. And I'm sure these drivers, I'm sure some of them would have probably liked some cautions in there to get themselves back in the mix, but you love it when this race just goes green to checkered.
Yeah, it's a great display of driving, and I just went through here and looked, and only 5 trucks had any kind of incident points. So a large portion of tonight's field will be getting that 5 bonus points. So a big shout out to everybody for keeping it clean here tonight and getting those 5 bonus points, and for the 94 for stamping, you know, his name, his number into playoffs, and a potential bid to win this opening championship of this inaugural season here in the YESCAR Truck Series. So he adds his name to the list of Big Duke and Tyler Hesel, who came up just a little bit short, but definitely shown his dominance throughout the season so far. So he's definitely gonna be one to contend come playoff time, as well as Jeff Byers able to, come through and get a good finish here tonight. So he's been struggling here in this series so far, but glad he can be able to come away and get a good finish here.
Yeah, you almost feel like you get to the end of the race, you're happy, like, yeah, I got a 0x, I got that 5 bonus points, and then you look and it's like, oh, so did just about everybody else. So it's almost a wash at that point. But still trying to round up the top 3 here in the podium room here. But I mean, just again, I can't say enough. Great race for everybody out here. We'll take a rundown of the race results. It is Tuckles, Jonathan Tuckness, your winner here tonight in the 94. Tyler Helsel in second. Captain Killam in third. Chris Melton, Corey Sherman, your top 5. Then you got Matthew Hott. Maxwell Shade, Big Duke, Chris Gutierrez, Ben Stevens, your top 10. Rounding out the top 20 is Scott Gilroy. I can't even talk right now. Scott Gilroy, John Holliday, James Wagoneer, Michael Funkhauser Jr., Derek Catt, Keith says yes. Losing my mouse. There it is. Keith says yes. Vincent Pagano, Cody Brewer, ZM Racing, Riley Romeo. In your top 20, and then 21st through 30th is going to be Paul Lawson, Dylan Jacobs, Austin Smith, Joshua Laughlin, Timothy Wright, Stephanie Roberts, Tyler Bryan, Charles Abert. Not sure. We're gonna have to find out about that one. Scott Boyer and Keith Powell. That is a no racer there. That is Keith says yes there. With I guess maybe it's kind of like you go to the horse races. Sometimes you get a 1 and a 1A, and it's just you get 2 chances at it. I guess he wrecks one truck, he can hop in that 997 and maybe get back out there. But yeah, either way, it was one heck of a run by all these drivers out here. So congrats to them. Still waiting for them to come in here, but we got a chance here. Maybe we'll try and pull in Keith here and kind of get his take on it. Keith, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Well, we're pretty good. We're kind of wondering what to do with the extra time here tonight. I mean, this thing just absolutely flew by tonight.
Right. We got through this thing bell to bell. No flags. Is awesome. Clean race. There was only 6 incident points in the whole race.
It's got to feel good. I mean, obviously, we talk about Daytona just being, a wild card. It can turn into a crapshoot very quickly, no matter how good or bad the drivers that you have in your series are. Phoenix, it can be very tough, and especially when it's a hot, slick track. And it's got to feel good to finally crack one out here, going green to checkered.
That's right. Yeah, it's I've had a tough season. This is my first finish out of 3 races, so. It's been a little rough for me. Excited to have a decent run, and everybody was great. It's just a super fun race tonight.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean, maybe not the finish you want, but it's right. At least you get the finish, like you said. I mean, it was a bit of a rough start for the season for you, for sure. And yeah, I mean, right. you guys go from having a fight, not having 16x to not even 16x for the entire field on the night. So
right, isn't that a big switch?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I mean, looking at the schedule for next week. Atlanta.
First
Of all,
Atlanta. Oh yeah.
I mean, plenty of grip now with the new Atlanta, but is Big Duke just is he trying to give you guys sunburn or something like that every week? It seems like this track is 130. I mean, what's next week? 140 degrees in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is he set up a practice for us all weekdays, starting at 10 for 2 hours. So we went in and run. We were running 40.4s. Some other guys were running almost 40 flats. And then we run today, different time of day. We're 2.5 seconds slower and running completely different. So we were all in for a shock when we got in there, and I got in late. So I feel very fortunate with the finish.
I mean, listen, Big Dude got his win already. He's got to stop screwing with you guys.
Right. That's right.
He's got his win. He's got another top 10 tonight here. You just, all right, cool it down here a little bit.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Well, I didn't pay attention. I almost missed the grid as I did the first race, and I wasn't paying attention where I was starting. And after the race was over, I said, Duke, did you invert the fit? He's like, no, why? I said, well, did I qualify ninth? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I was shocked. And I screwed my second lap up. So
that's what it was. That's what it was. You got to thinking too much about it.
That's right. That's right. I wasn't thinking at all. So
yep.
I need to keep up that. So.
All right. Well, we'll let you get on out of here. Congrats on the finish here tonight, and hopefully you guys can keep that thing rolling for next week.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.
You too. That is Keith from Keith Says Yes. It looks like we got at least one of the drivers here. Third place tonight is going to be Captain Killam. And Jeff, you got a copy?
I got you, bro.
So another good run here for you in the 45, and I mean a good run from everybody out there. It's fun to see a race go green the entire length of the race, but when you're so used to having some cautions thrown in the mix there, it can kind of throw off your strategy a little bit. Was that the case out here tonight? Were you thinking that a caution may come out somewhere that was a certain strategy in mind the whole night?
I wish I could say that, but that's not really the case. Guys are taking 2 and 4 tires, and I took 4 on the first stop, and then took 2 on the second stop, hoping to come out of the pits with a little bit of a lead, and that didn't happen. And then I had to fight with some lap cars also, which kind of slowed us down. And I think that allowed Tyler to catch us and then run away with it, because I'm pretty sure he took 4. I'm not 100% sure though. So no, it was great to run green flags the whole time. That was a lot of fun. So kudos to everybody for that.
Yeah, there were definitely some varying strategies out there tonight, and I was surprised we didn't see. I thought maybe somebody might try and throw something in there where you take the 4 tires in that first pit stop, get to your pit window, just take fuel only, and try and run that thing out to the end. Where tires that important out here tonight? I'm sure with the track temperature they might have been.
Yeah, absolutely. So these trucks, because they're underpowered, it's all about momentum. And the right sides were getting worn enough where it was scrubbing momentum quite a bit at the end of a fuel run, even though it's like a shorter fuel run, it felt like. So, yeah, tires were king as far as keeping your momentum up in these things.
So a lot of talent here in the league, and from top to bottom. But we've seen you up here battling for top 5s now, week in and week out. What's going to take to finally crack through, grab your win here, and lock yourself into the playoffs?
Somebody's got to take Tuckles out, I guess.
I mean, we try to talk to Keith and have Big Duke cool the track down for a little bit for you guys. I mean, I'm expecting Atlanta next week to just be 140 for track temperature. It's been crazy temperatures all season so far.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I like these things, for me at least, tend to like push real bad. So if we can get them to be a little looser, I'm cool with it. I don't mind sliding around. I actually think it's more challenging and more fun. So I'm cool with the hot tracks, especially Hot Atlanta. Go into my home track. Let's go.
All right, well,
yes.
Hopefully we can see you on the top step next week, but you grab yourself a podium here tonight, so congrats on the 3rd. Who you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Well, shout out to Duke and Keith Says Yes for putting all this stuff together. You guys for always doing awesome broadcasts. And the whole field tonight for having a good, clean race, that makes things way more fun and way more entertaining, especially to all the streamers. When we're racing the whole time, everybody watching enjoys it. So kudos to everybody.
All right, well, we'll let you go celebrate the win here tonight. Get ready for Hot Atlanta next week, and hopefully we get to talk to you again.
Let's go!
That is your third place finisher here tonight. Captain Killam, Jeff Byers in the 45. Joe, we'll now switch over to our winner. We don't have Tyler Helzel here tonight, but we do have your winner here tonight, the 94 iTuckles, Jonathan Tuckness. And Joe, why don't you go ahead and talk to our winner?
You got a copy there, Jonathan?
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for bringing me up.
Yeah, no, not a problem, man. Just a dominating performance here tonight. Kind of talk me through your race here. Got the pole and kind of just led the whole thing here tonight.
I just want to really make it clear, this type of racing, I'm really not. It's not my forte. I'm a short track guy. I focus all of my energy on that throughout the week and officials and stuff like that. So I put in extra work, not any more than anybody else, but for me personally, more work than I ever would to figure out what's the pit strategy, how long are we going to last on tires, can I take two and still have some speed? And there was so many things that went into play here. But if it wasn't for a clean race and a clean league and everybody like really, really getting along here, all my strategy would have gone out the window. So big props to the entire league for helping this go green, and that paid off for me.
Yeah, so we were kind of having like a conversation, me and Carl. It looks like you slid the tires coming into the pit there. Did you obviously you didn't mean to do that, but did you have to change the call there, or was it 4 tires all the way?
The brain power call was 2 tires early, 4 tires late. So when I was taking 2 tires and I slid them, I really wasn't happy about that, but I had already committed to the decision. I was like, I've got to come off the pit lane 3 seconds ahead of them for this to work. And I was like maybe 3.1, 3.2 off of Tyler, and I'm not sure who was P2. I think I can't remember who it was now, but whoever was P2 that Tyler had to get back around late in the race, the 2 tires was still the right call. When I was going to slide 4 and I went in there, no, it wasn't pretty, no, it wasn't on purpose, but at that point I didn't care. We're getting 4 rubbers.
Yeah, I think right before the first stop there, I think the 24 and 45 maybe we're getting a 10th or 2 on you a lap there, or was that like your call, like you already had your strategy, like lap 17 was the pit time there?
It really wasn't. I'll be honest, I was trying to make it to 1.9, and I was clutching both ends of the track very heavily about 5-6 laps before we pit. And so I was trying to do everything that I could to get those last couple laps out, and it wasn't going to happen. So when we got close to 17, I made the call. Come down, put 2. 2 was always going to be the call after practicing this week and seeing the fall off wasn't that bad on the left sides. But I wish we could have gone a little bit further, thankfully. And I even told Tyler in the race, had he taken 2 the second time, we'd have probably been dead even at the line coming to the checkered flag. So I kind of wish he would have, because it would have made for a little better race there at the end. But I'm glad when other people don't think the way I do sometimes.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so now you kind of lock yourself into the playoff. You still got to battle for the regular season championship, but does the mindset change now moving forward in these races, or is it still just win them all?
I'm a stats guy. I like having my name at the top of the board, but for me, it's which tracks do I enjoy racing and which tracks do I have to work harder at. And the ones that I enjoy racing are the ones that I don't end up practicing and get my ass handed to me, pardon my French. So we're going to go next week to Kansas. I'm going to probably practice my butt off and hopefully come out somewhere on top like this. But we go to a place like Bristol or Richmond where I think I know what I'm doing. We're going to finish P15 and I'm going to regret it.
Well, if you go to Kansas, you'll be by yourself. We're at Atlanta next week.
Oh, no, that's wrong plane, wrong train.
There you go. But
it's a Kansas state of mind.
So,
it's a Kansas state of mind. Maybe he enjoys Kansas more than Atlanta, and he's trying to get in that mindset that, okay, I can handle Atlanta.
you already got to figure it out.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Well, congrats on the win here tonight. You lock yourself in the playoffs, and we'll see what you can do next week. But before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, especially Big Duke for putting this league together, and Keith, who I have not personally got to talk to very much, but what they have here is going to be a great thing. I think that they've worked out a bunch of bugs over the last couple of races, and I only see good things coming. So big shout out to them. Your guys' broadcast is fantastic. CRN looks great, sounds great, everything. I couldn't ask for a better broadcast to be a part of. And Desert Rose Bows Co. all over this car. Man, Mike Funkhauser just gave me a piece to come race with these guys, and I couldn't be happier.
Right on. Well, congrats on the win, locking yourself in, and we'll see what you can do at Atlanta next week.
Carl, Joe, appreciate it.
Yep.
That is your winner here tonight, Jonathan Tuckness, iTuckles here in at the 94. Once again, shout out to all the drivers out here. Fantastic race for the YESCAR Truck Series. Want to give a shout out to all the season sponsors here tonight, that being Kohr, Crab and Supplies, Keep Digging, MVV Travel Co., Drop Gear Racing, GTR Simulator, Desert Rose Bow Company, and Cookies for Kids Cancer. But obviously, big one, HeSaysYes.com. And thank you to everything that he's done for, for helping out the series here, helping out with Big Duke, and certainly want to try and bring him in as much as possible. And bring yourself in to Keith Says Yes there in Hurricane, West Virginia, or Huntington, West Virginia. And all you got to do is mention their league here, and you can get $1,000 off a new or used vehicle. Thank you to everyone that tuned in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. And I mean, if you watch this race here tonight, I don't know why you haven't subscribed yet. I mean, this was just a fantastic race, and Auto Club doing Auto Club things. It's just beautiful. All kinds of racing lines, all kinds of different strategies, and it was iTuckles that had the best strategy and got the win here tonight. That is going to do it for the broadcast here for CRN for the YESCAR Truck Series, race number 3 here at Auto Club Speedway. Next week, we turn to Hotlanta, and if it's anything like these first couple races, it's going to be a hot one. So bring a suntan lotion, bring some nice cool beverages, and enjoy the race. But for Joe Sullivan and myself, Carl Handwork, we'll see you at the track.